I appreciate you joining us. We're going to get started here in about another minute. We still have some people logging on. The attendee list keeps going up, so I'm going to give it about another 45 seconds here, and then we'll go ahead and jump right in. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you've got a little red or orange icon up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, and you can click on that little icon and type any chat questions that you have. I have a licensed agent on the other end. His name's Todd Weiss. Very good at handling questions and responding to all the attendees on the webinar after it's over. So any questions that you might have, go ahead and get those typed in, and he can be answering those as we move through the webinar. So give it about another 30 seconds here, and we'll get started. So be right with you. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right in here so we can get everybody back out in the field. What we want to talk about here today, guys and gals, is the Heartland National Express application. It's an online express app. It's not actually a true e-app, but it is an e-app with a way to get an immediate answer to a policy that you're submitting. I'll give you some examples as we move through the webinar. So again, if you have any questions, go ahead and type those in, and Todd will get those answered as we move through here. So we wanted to show you a little bit of state availability, where the product is available, and we do have some additional states that we're going to add in 2017. Going to show you the rates on how this product compares with the market. And then we want to talk about the submitting of new business and the express application that we have just introduced here. There is the, right now we're offering the Association Medicare Supplement. A lot of you folks on the webinar have been writing the product, and we do appreciate that. We got some states that are really, really standing out. Illinois, South Carolina, Texas are all really submitting a lot of good business, getting a lot of business out of Nebraska also. And surprisingly, with Missouri being a guarantee issue state, we're getting quite a bit of business out of the state of Missouri also, which is my domicile state. Okay, take a look at the rates in Alabama. If you look at Heartland National's life rates in Alabama, I've got two different rates posted up there at age 65, showing you where we stack up for the T65 market. And then as we move through the different age groups, you'll see that the product stays very competitive, moving up into the 70s and low 80s also. We do offer a 7% household discount. That's not the same as a husband and wife discount. We have to have two adults living in the home, and they will qualify for the discount. Even if only one apply, they both have to apply, which I like. Again, these are based on a female at age 65 and age 72, as the same thing with Bankers and Standard. All the other companies are competitively priced equally. And we use the lowest area factor so that you can take a look at what the rates are in the low area factors, which is usually the rural areas, which is where the majority of med-sub business comes from. Get into the cities, you compete a lot against the Medicare Advantages, so we always, as companies, try to take a look at where we stack up out in the rural areas. If you take a look at our discount, the husband and the household discount at age 65, that drops the female down to $111.75, and at age 72 at $133.19. We did create these maps. Todd Weiss took a little leeway on himself and created these maps, and he got together with a little company that created these. We are getting a lot of good feedback on these maps from agents. They listen to the webinar and they say, well, what isn't in my zip code? And, instead of having to go look it up and type a bunch of stuff in there, you can just take a look at this map. And if you're in the 367 or the 369 area code, or zip code, that's an Area 1 rate. We get a lot of feedback from marketing companies that are wanting these. They request these maps all the time that we've created. So very, very good way to just take a look at a map, and you can, if you're in the 356 in the upper portion of Alabama, you can immediately know that that's going to be in an Area 1, that's the best area factor. So if you need these maps or want them for a certain state, get a hold of Todd during the webinar. He'll send them out to you, and you'll find her very helpful. Illinois has been a really, really good state for the association product. At age 65, females 113.77. At age 72, we're at 135. When you apply the discount, that drops both of them down to the 105, 126 area, and that's a very, very competitive rate in the state of Illinois. If you take a look at the map, just about the entire state of Illinois outside of the quadrant up there around Chicago, from 600 to about 608, is about the only area that you'll find in Area 1. The rest of the state is, or Area 2, I'm sorry, the rest of the state's in Area 1, which I know a lot of companies, when you get down into the center part, there's a couple of areas in there that they rate up. So depending on where you live in Illinois, you should be very, very competitive with this product. Nebraska, the same thing. Most of the state of Nebraska is going to be in Area 1, outside of over around the Omaha area. We're at 102.27. Again, these are Plan F premiums, not Plan G, and 121.88 before the discount, and 133 with the discount, or 113.35 with the discount at age 72, 95.11 at age 65. So very, very competitive in the state of Nebraska. Take a look at the map. About the only two areas you'll find that are Area 2 would be up in the Omaha, and I think that 685 is Lincoln. So the rest of the state is going to be Area 1. South Carolina, one of our top producing states. We're getting a tremendous amount of business out of South Carolina. I got some really good producers out there, and they like the way we onboard business. They're really going to like the opportunity now with this Online Express app. But you can see those rates in South Carolina, extremely competitive. Manhattan is one of our strong competitors, and we're at 108. They're at 114. We both have a 7% household discount. That drops us down to 101 at age 65, and at age 72 at 120, and they're coming in. We've got the same spread, about $10, $11 difference. There's the map of South Carolina. It's kind of a Area 2 kind of shaves the east, the south, and the western border a little bit, and then the rest of the state is Area 1. So very, very competitive. Regardless of the zip code, it's still very competitive. So getting a lot of good business out of South Carolina. Okay, so I don't have time to go through all the states. I don't think you guys want to sit here and listen to me go through all those anyway, depending on what state you're listening from. I want to talk a little bit about how we onboard business. As you well know, if you've been with us for a while, and I know a lot of you have, we have the face-to-face, which is the old school way, where you go to the husband or wife's house and you sit there face-to-face with them and you do a paper application. Well, as you well know, if you've submitted business with Heartland, you have the opportunity to do a telephonic app when you're doing a face-to-face, or you can also do the telephonic app in a three-way phone setting. So it works really, really well. What you're going to find is when we go through this express application, guys, gals, is you're going to find out that the express application gives you tremendous capabilities. Give you an example. I was in Marshall, Missouri. It's about an hour and a half here from Blue Springs just last week. And I sat down with one of my policyholders, and I was late for another appointment, and this was on a Thursday night. And so I came home Friday morning. I come to the office Friday morning, and I took and entered all of the information on my agent website, and I'll show you here in just a minute exactly how to do that. And I entered that Friday morning, and by the end of Friday morning, I got an email from the company saying, congratulations, your policyholder's been approved. Here's her policy number. Now, that's pretty darn good service. I don't care what line of business you're in or what companies you're writing for, but you're talking about a 2-hour turnaround to get my answer. And I never made a phone call or anything, and it was a fully underwritten app. The company picked up the phone, called her, and got her approved, sent me an email with the policy number. I called her and I said, oh, by the way, Helen, I just got an email from the company, here's your policy number. She was tickled pink, and I was going to ask for a 9/1 effective date. I thought, oh, just since we've introduced this, I want to do a little test run on it, and so I asked for a 10/1 effective date. So everything worked out well, but I could actually got a 9/1 effective date on this app that I wrote last Thursday. Okay, so paper applications, of course, we still take them. A lot of you have seen those. There's just kind of the app broke down. It's a very simple app. It is a yes-no underwritten app. I'm not going to go through that here today. The purpose of this webinar is to talk about the Online Express app that we are just introducing for people who are writing business with us. And that's kind of what we want to talk about here for the rest of the webinar. And if you have questions, again, by all means, get those into Todd. He's very good at answering those. So basically what we're talking about, guys, gals, is when you do the Online Express app, you can complete this policy online with the exception of the medical and banking information. As you well know, on our telephonic app, if you were sitting face-to-face with an individual, as soon as you pre-qualified them, went through the health questions with them, you could pick up the telephone and call the company and get a policy number established right there with the policyholder. You can still do that. Underwriting will call the client within minutes, no longer than 24 hours. You know, we're coming up on AEP here, but here's the beauty of doing this Online Express app if you don't make the immediate phone call. A lot of us have been old school and we do paper applications or we fax the application to the company. Well, when we do that, then that has to go to queue, and then queue it falls into, you know, in date received order, and it might be a day or two before the underwriters get to it. By doing the Online Express app, once you go on the agent website and submit that and hit submit button, you're guaranteeing a call back within 24 hours. So it's very, very important that you tell your policyholder if that's what you're going to do, just like I did with Helen. I said, Helen, you'll get a call from the underwriting department within a 24-hour period. Now, one of the things that I hadn't been saying on webinars that I need to start including, and I hope you guys remember this, remind your policyholder that they'll be getting a call from the underwriting department from an 801 area code, or it might be an 866. With caller ID, a lot of times people see a number that they don't recognize and they just don't answer it. So let your policyholder know, say, you know, Ms. Jones, you're going to be receiving a call from an 801 or maybe an 866 area code. That will probably be the underwriting department calling, so please, you know, answer that so we can get your policy pushed through. So basically what we're saying here is the policy is completed online by the agent with the exception of the medical and banking information. Underwriting will call the client within minutes, could be 24 hours, to complete the application, and the results will be emailed to the agent. Or you can do a three-way call. Usually, guys, I say 5 to 10 minutes. You don't have to wait 5-10 minutes. Give it just a few minutes to, once you hit submit, it's just like an email going from here to the underwriting department, but just give it, you know, a couple of minutes to make sure it has time. You know, I've been talking with people before and they say, well, I just sent you an email, and I said, well, it hasn't come through yet, and you keep talking and said, oh, there it is, it popped up. So same thing as with this. Once you hit submit button, give it a couple minutes, and then you can call the client, or you can call into the underwriting department, and the underwriting department will get on the phone with the client to complete this application. It takes about 9 to 12 minutes, and basically, I'll tell you why, is because you filled out the entire app online while you're sitting there with the policyholder, or while you're doing a three-way phone call. You can do, you know, if you're doing a three-way phone call, you can be on your agent website, fill it out as you move through, or you can take the app like I did, come home and put it in your agent website the next day or that evening. So now when the underwriters have to come back and do their portion, most of the applications already filled out. All they got to do at that point is verify the health, the medications, and the banking. So what was taking anywhere from, you know, 20 to 23 minutes now only causes you about a 9 to 10, 12-minute phone call. Policy gets issued with the policy number right there upon approval. They get the copy of the telephonic app in the policy, and again, it lets us pay you a lot quicker. So that's it in a nutshell. Now I'm going to kind of show you what you're looking for on your agent website. You're going to click to your Heartland National Agent website, which is heartlandagent.com. You're going to see your homepage just exactly like this outside of where I have it expanded. On your header button, you'll have home, products, underwriting, and support. Supplies, contact us, log out up at the top. So what you want to do is click on the support button. Go all the way to the bottom and click on Online Express Application. Now, this will pop up right next. It'll say Start Application. So you click on the Start Application icon, and then this drops down to the states that you are currently licensed in. So if you were licensed in all the states that you see on the screen right there, starting with Alabama all the way to down Wyoming, and you were doing a Missouri app, you would click on Missouri, and that will automatically load every form that's required for a Missouri application. So you click on that state that you're wanting to sell the policy in, and now, guys, all required fields are on the screen in front of you, and everything that's on an application is on this screen right here in front. So it may not be in the exact order, but it'll all be right there for you to drop down on a menu, like when you see what is the applicant's gender. That's the second question down. It has a select button with an arrow icon pointing down. You click on that, and male, female will pop up. Just, it's just common sense. You click on a required arrow, and all of a sudden, then it pops up. When just a little confusing there. If you look at, it says, what is the group name? Let me highlight that here real quick. What is the group name right here? I was a little confused when I first seen that, but when I clicked on the down button, it was pretty plain. It says Heartland Association Product. So that will automatically, you just click that and it'll pop in there. You hit the little button and it'll pop in there. And then you come down to what plan you're applying for right here. You click on your little button right there, and it'll have all the plans available in that state, A, F, G, and N. So you click your, the plan you want. So you fill out everything that's required, and you just keep right on going down through, answering all the questions like you're filling out an application. Did you meet with the enrollee in person? That'll be a yes/no question. Did you complete this enrollment form over the phone? And it'll say in person or over the phone. You just fill them in as you move. And then a couple of times you'll come into a situation to where it says something about optional, that you don't actually have to fill it in. But if you see this little asterisk right here where it says required, that means that a field has to be filled in before you can keep going through and submitting. If you hit the submit button and you forget one of these required fields, it'll take you back to that and tell you missed a question. You got to go ahead and fill that in. Okay, so then you're going to come down to daytime phone, evening phone, email address. Then you're going to ask them, did they request enrollment as a member of the Senior Savers? You check yes. There's a $2 monthly fee for that. It's basically the same thing. That if you look at these questions right here, do you understand that your membership dues are non-refundable? All of this is something the underwriter has to take time and read to them when you're doing a telephonic app. Now all you got to do is come over here, click this little down arrow, and it'll say yes or no. So, of course, the correct answer is always yes. So then do they agree to comply with the bylaws right here? The correct answer again, when you click this little arrow, would be yes. And then if you have a specific time that you want us to try and call your policyholder back, best time to call that applicant, put that right there. You do not have to fill that in. As you can see right here, that says optional. So anytime it says optional, you can leave it blank, but always give the guys as much information as you possibly can. And one thing that I always tell the policyholder, say now 10 o'clock in the morning is the best time for us to call you. They'll probably do that first thing in the morning, so please give me about an hour each way. But remember, we're going to try to be here if you can. You don't want to have the underwriter trying to call at a certain time and they forget they're calling and they're off doing something else. That happens. Okay, so then you continue to go down through all the information that's on your application. It says, are you covered under Medicare Part A? Are you covered under Medicare Part B? Yes or no. And once you click on that, if it's a yes, it'll have the date on their Medicare card that you need to fill in. Everything drops down to a same thing that's on your application. Are you applying during a guarantee issue period? If yes, you've got to put the required proof, just like you would if you were doing a paper application face-to-face. Did they turn 65 in the last 6 months? Yes or no? Again, very, very easy. I tell you, if I can do this, I know everybody else can, because as Shauna would attest, I'm kind of computer illiterate. Okay, then you kind of come down to your signature pages, and you type your name in there, your phone number. A lot of your stuff will already, as you can see, mine auto-filled on there. It's got Bill E at e-hfg.com. Everything fills in capital letters, so you don't have to worry about putting cap locks on or off. It's automatic. And then any comments that you want to put in there, go ahead and do that. Go, if you've got a policyholder that exercises 5 days a week and walks 3 miles a day, put that down there. That always helps the underwriter when they're going through there to make a good underwriting decision. Then all you do, guys, gals, is you come right down here and you click submit, and then it's up to you how you proceed from there. If you're face-to-face with a policyholder, give it 2 or 3 minutes, pick up the telephone if you have time. Call the underwriter and say, this is Bill Ellsworth. My agent number is 500-2440. I just submitted an online application on Joe Jones. She will find that, and then she will go ahead and start with her verification, and she will start with the health questions and the banking information. If it's a fully underwritten, she'll do the health questions. If it's open enrollment, she'll skip that and go straight to the premium verification. If it's a three-way phone call, if you're doing a three-way phone call, you're here, the policyholder's in another town, and you have done everything online on your agent website, and you hit submit, you can do it that way. Or you can, just like I did last week, I was late, I took all the information with me, entered it into my agent website, and the policy got approved first thing the next morning. So that is how it works. As you see, these are the different parts of our application, and now the only thing, once that you guys have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 online and 10 online, now the policyholder or the underwriter is going to come back and they're going to commit to doing the premium payment and administration, and they're going to ask the medical questions and the medications questions also. And that's really all the underwriter has to do, is do the premium and the medical questions, and that, you can see, takes a lot less time for the underwriter, no matter how you're submitting the app. If you're doing paper and call in, all she's got to do is 8 and 9. If you come home, enter it in the computer like I did, when they call back, all they got to do is 8 and 9. So the time that you spend on with the underwriter is almost cut in half. And guys, gals, we're getting a lot of good feedback on this. So if you have any questions, or if you haven't tried it, by all means try it. You can't believe how much this speeds up time for us to get a policy issued. Why is that beneficial to you and I? The quicker policies get issued and the quicker the policyholder sees things are going really well, buyer's remorse goes way, way down. And as agents, that is very important to you and I. Anytime we can help eliminate buyer's remorse, that's a good thing for all of us and our policyholders. Okay, so that really is what we wanted to talk about today. Guys, my name again is Bill Ellsworth. If you have any questions, by all means, get a hold of me at bill.e@e-hfg.com. Or if you have any contracting issues or have agents that you want to get contracted, all that's done online. You can get a hold of Robin McGlasson at her email right there, and I'll leave that up and bring Todd back on here and see if we have any questions. Todd, how's